So the last week has just been absolutely mental, literally mental. With YouTube Golf Day, and then heading off to the British Masters as well, which was an amazing experience. I learnt so much there, trying to implement that into my game, which we'll talk about in a few other episodes. Obviously I started playing golf like a year and a half ago, properly anyway, after about a 3.5 year layoff, and I never expected to be doing anything like that. So it was a privilege to actually be invited to something on that scale, and to be working with Callaway, European Tour, doing all that stuff. It's crazy. It really is crazy, but I feel like the playing side of things has kind of taken a back foot, as I did kind of expect when I first started again. Anyway, before I start like rambling on this video, I just kind of wanted to have an honest chat. I feel like it's been ages since I've actually sat down in front of the camera and talked about how I'm trying to move forward, what I'm really trying to achieve with the channel, with my golf, and just everything in general. So the content over the last 2 weeks has been like ridiculously fun to edit and to film. British Masters, I spent like 4 days editing that video. Didn't really get that many views, but the feedback I had on it was really positive. And then the latest 2 videos has just been like me, Wheeler, Konig and James messing around. Like the YouTube Open was so much fun to edit that. It was a great laugh. I want to keep the banter and the good fun between mates and all that stuff still in the videos, because I feel that's what like really holds it together. It's about going out on the golf course and having fun at the same time as taking it seriously and playing some decent golf and encouraging each other, and all of us like moving forward together. Like watching Harry and how quickly he's progressing with his golf and getting his Euro Pro Tour card. That's like all on camera over the past like 2 years, how well he's done. James with his long drive did relatively well, and now he's coming into golf. We're all like part of it, and we all encourage each other and want to see each other do well moving forward. But really the main thing I wanted to talk about is like my goals moving forward with this. I think when I first started the channel, I was quite naive to think that I'd be able to make it at golf at a high level at the same time as being a YouTuber. So yeah, I was a little bit naive to think that I'd be able to do both, and I've slowly realised that over the last like year or so, since starting it all up again, that you can't do both. You can't be excellent at two things at once. You know, you have to be obsessed and dedicated to one thing to become an expert at whatever that is. So that's why I wanted to have this chat and just kind of redirect the channel a little bit and bring expectations down a notch, because right from the offset, when I started playing golf again, I made a video on YouTube saying how I was going to make it at golf and vlog the whole thing. I put way too much pressure on myself by saying that. Really, I should have got back into golf first, got my golf in a good position, and then slowly progressed through without really putting too much out there, and do it a little bit more discreetly, if that makes sense. Like my goals are still high. I still want to reach my potential as a golfer, but I want people to view this channel now as more of like a human experiment, and like how far we can actually push this. So this is going to be the main aim for the channel moving forward over the next, I'm predicting like year and a half, I would have said. I'm still going to play tournament golf. I got like 4 or 5 tournaments lined up this year. Still going to play maybe like one a month, just to keep my foot in the door with competitive golf. The whole point of the Follow the Journey series now, I want to revolve around scoring average, which I'm going to use Golf Data Lab for, and just monitoring my stats and improving everything in increments, and just really pushing to improve myself in every little aspect as a golfer, but not putting that pressure on myself to go and play well in tournaments, because the fact of the matter is, being a YouTuber and doing that at the same time is pretty much impossible. Until I have a cameraman and an editor, I'm not going to be able to go out there and solely focus and be tunnel vision on playing tournament golf, which you have to be able to perform at a high standard. So that's really what the channel is going to focus on now, is around my scoring average, playing as many different courses as I possibly can, local, maybe not so local, travel north, travel to Surrey, play different golf courses. Also, when I go on trips from now on, the main focus of that trip will be to challenge myself around 18 holes, my score. We'll go back, we'll look over my stats, see what I did wrong, see what I did right, and improve on that. And I really want to do that over the next couple of years and keep on working on my technique, building the foundations to get myself in a position where, you know, 2 years down the line, when I actually have the money there, I don't have to worry about supporting my family. Once I get in that position where I have enough money, and I can afford to have the cameraman, the editor, then we'll be in a good position to say, right, my golf's now in shape after the last 2 years of training and building the foundation to go ahead and play a full season which at the end of the day, any of the tours that you go for, whether it be TP, Jamiga, Euro Pro, you need at least 10 grand for a season, like at least. You know, I was lucky enough to have Graham and also James from New York, who have helped me out a lot, which are going towards tournament expenses, entry fees. James, he helped out massively over the winter with some sponsorship, and without him, what I've been doing over the past few months would not have been possible. I'm very lucky to actually have such a loyal subscriber base who believe in what I'm doing and enjoy, again like myself, enjoy watching people do well and improving, and the whole idea of the journey and the movement towards something bigger. So they massively help towards what I'm doing. But until I get myself in a position where I'm completely stable, financially, family wise, and have, you know, the team around me to be able to say, right, let's really go for this now. That play week in, week out. I've played 2 competitive rounds in the last like 8 months, so it's, you know, you really can't expect to go out there and play well, especially with obviously YouTube and all the work which goes on behind the scenes. So that really is the redirection of the channel. I'm now solely focusing on scoring average. Last year I was averaging like 77. It's horrendous. I just got back into golf. My swing was all over the place. The last 9 months have been pretty hard with the swing rebuild, but now we're starting to move forward. My long game's miles better, to the point where actually my putting needs to catch up a little bit. My short game's relatively good, but putting's lagging a little bit behind. I think because I'm hitting more greens and I'm having longer putts. That being said, my scoring average has improved 2.2 shots, and I'm still going through swing changes as well. So it's, you know, I think scope for the end of the year, maybe averaging like 73.5 would be a good position to be in. Different styles of courses, links, parkland, lakeland. I'll be very, very happy with that. Obviously it's different when you go to tournament venues because they're set up so much harder, the greens are so much quicker, and you've got the obviously additional nerves, pressure and all that goes with it. So yeah, basically you're going to hear a lot about scoring average, let's put it that way. There's going to be a lot more videos now of me actually playing golf and going out on the golf course, because that's the main thing I need to do. Obviously I'll continue to practice short game, putting, long game and doing drills, but the main thing is being out there and just playing as many 18-hole rounds as I possibly can this year. Another question which I get asked quite a bit is, why don't you go back to amateur and start playing national amateur events like you used to, so all the England golf and like RNA stuff. I can't be an amateur because I have a sponsorship deal, and also we're doing YouTube. There's certain regulations which doesn't allow me to be an amateur and obviously have a sponsorship deal at the same time, and that comes into also having enough money to be able to continue doing YouTube. It's this like catch-22 situation, and I wouldn't really want to go back to being an amateur anyway. As soon as you start playing on the national scene as an amateur and getting to any kind of level, you start to spend almost as much money on that as you would as a professional golfer, unless you have support from your county, which these days is relatively hard to get. I can still put myself in competition scenarios and pressurized situations. Most of my friends are professional golfers anyway, so I can go out there, play for money against them, and that gives me that extra little bit of competitive practice. You know, I don't need to be an amateur to get that sort of pressurized practice. My long-term goals have not changed. They are staying the same. I still want to push myself to the absolute max and become as good a golfer as I possibly can be. So yeah, I just felt like I needed like an honest chat to let you guys know what my vision is moving forward in the future, both with YouTube and my golf. It's always going to be documenting my progression as a golfer. That will never ever change. I love golf too much. I love competing. I love playing golf too much for that to ever change. It's the whole reason I started YouTube, is to get myself out there and to have a job where I can work and play golf at the same time. And I also love creating content, so it's just like a massive bonus basically. Very, very lucky to be in the position that I'm in. So here is to a fresh start, moving forward, a little bit of a different focus, a slightly new vision. Long-term goals staying the same, but for now let's focus on scoring average and working on my game, building the foundations. Think of this as like a human experiment. How good can I get? You never know, by the time I'm 50 I might be off 6. See you in a bit.